equality, and fraternity, which are specially highlighted in the preamble. These are the principles on which we have agreed to conduct ourselves as a nation. These are, of course, the civilizational values of humankind, finding their best expression in the wisdom of this land. During a collective journey from darkness to light over the centuries, people in different parts of the world have rediscovered the same repeatedly. In our case, it was during the great freedom struggle that we came to realize their importance once again. The people from different corners of this vast and diverse country to reach the rich and the poor, men and women, the educated and the uneducated, city dwellers and villagers, followers of different faiths, found a common objective in the liberation of the motherland. As they struggled against the foreign rule, they came to appreciate the significance of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. These values helped us win independence. It is no wonder these find a special mention in the preamble and continue to guide our nation-building efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one word that sums up the four foundational values, it has to be democracy. If we imagine someone from outer space visiting the earth, this creature would be amazed at Indian democracy, the largest of its kind in the world. Consider the phenomenon. Nearly a fifth of humanity has decided to put one's individual destiny in the collective hands of the billion-plus fellow citizens. This is an immense trust, so immense that we fail to notice it is in routine. Moreover, India has been nurturing and enhancing this trust by deepening democracy even since its own freedom. How? By upholding justice, by stressing equality. All possible efforts have been made to empower every citizen, irrespective of gender, caste, creed, and other distinctions. That is why India has had people from highly varied backgrounds occupying high offices and excelling in various walks of life. If we consider gender, for example, the offices of the President, the Prime Minister, and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, among others, have been held by women. Though their numerical strength is in legislative bodies was less, the long-awaited Nari Shakti Bandhan Abhiyan will increase their proportion too. In the bureaucracy, armed forces as well as scientific and technological research institutions, women's representation has been rising. This is true not only for women but also for others socially disadvantaged groups including scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. While the place of the judiciary in the constitutional framework remains rather unique, I am confident that this institution too has been welcoming diversity with open arms. More varied representation of India's unique diversity on bench and bar definitely help serve the cause of justice better. One way to hasten this diversification process can be the creation of a system in which judges can be recruited from varied backgrounds through a process which is merit-based, competitive, and transparent. मैं बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ। प्रेसिडेंट होने के बाद मुझे बहुत सारे सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़, स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़, IIM, IIT, बहुत सारे अनुष्ठान मुझे जाना पड़ता है। जब मैं देखती हूँ हमारे देश के बच्चे इतने टैलेंटेड है, पता नहीं उन दिनों दुनिया के लोग भारत को कैसे देखते हैं, लेकिन आज भारत को देखने के लिए दुनिया के लोग उत्सुक हैं। मैं बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ। कभी कभी उन बच्चों से मैं इंटरेक्ट करती हूँ, इतने टैलेंटेड है, मुझे लगता है ऐसे कुछ किया जाए। कभी कभी मैं पूछती हूँ उनको, आप क्या बनना चाहते हैं? कोई तो IAS IPS कहते हैं, कोई कहते हैं नहीं हम जुडिशियरी में जाना चाहते हैं। तो ऐसे कुछ किया जाए, वो बच्चे आसानी से यहाँ आ पाए। मुझे लगता है यंग है, टैलेंटेड है, एनर्जेटिक है, देश के लिए समर्पित है। ऐसे कुछ किया जाए। और ऐसे मुझे पता नहीं नियम में क्या लिखा है, आप सब यहाँ मौजूद है। ऐसे कुछ किया जाए कि वो बच्चे चुन के यहाँ आ सके। IAS के लिए कुछ प्रोविज़न है, IPS के प्रोविज़न है, स्टेट में भी बहुत सारे प्रोविज़न है। वो बच्चे अपना कोई UPSC कोई क्या दे करके वहाँ चले जाते हैं। यहाँ कुछ ऐसे किया जाए, मुझे पता नहीं, इन फ्यूचर आप लोगों को मैं छोड़ती हूँ। There can be an all India judicial service which can select brilliant youngsters and nurture and promote their talents from lower levels to higher levels. Those who aspire to serve the bench can be selected from across the country to create a larger pool of talent. Such a system can offer opportunities to the less representative social groups too. I leave it to your wisdom to devise any effective mechanism that you deem fit to achieve this objective of strengthening the justice delivery system. Ladies and gentlemen, the cause of justice is best served by making it accessible for all. This also strengthens equality. We should ask ourselves, especially on occasions like today's, whether every single citizen is in a position to seek justice. On introspection, we realize that there are many barriers in the way. Cost is, of course, the most significant factor. It is a matter close to my heart. That is why I appreciate all the initiatives taken by the Supreme Court in particular and the judiciary in general to expand the scope of free legal aid. Lawyers and civil society to have contributed to it. Then there are other barriers too, for example, language, which is beyond the comprehension of a majority of citizens. I feel reassured by the recent steps taken by the Supreme Court to make the verdicts available in various Indian languages. The live webcast of court proceedings too will go a long way in making citizens true stakeholders of the judicial system. The question of access to justice often reminds me of the so-called Bell of Justice, which often features in our mythological stories. Such tales highlight some king's love for justice by pointing out that he had installed a bell that any citizen could ring at any time of the day if he was seeking justice. When I heard such stories as a child, I wondered if the king would have any peace of mind at all, with people clamoring for his attention all the time. Later, I realized that such a king would have made the justice delivery system so efficient that the bell would need to be rung only rarely. Therefore, in order to improve the access to justice, we should seek to make the overall system citizen-centric. Speaking to our systems, we realize that they have been products of time, more precisely, products of colonialism. Clearing away its vestiges has been a work in progress. I am sure that we can speed up the remaining part of decolonization in all domains with more conscious efforts. I believe involving the young generation in those efforts by making them more knowledgeable of the Constitution, its making, and its working will bear excellent fruits in that direction. The youth has become more interested in our history, and if they learn more about the transformative work of visionaries like Babasaheb Ambedkar, the future of the Republic will be in safe hands. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the Constitution Day, we should know that the Constitution is, after all, only a written document. It comes alive and remains alive only if its contents are put into practice. That requires the exercise of interpretation. I must congratulate the Supreme Court for playing the role of the final interpreter of our founding documents to the perfection. We are aware of their role and responsibility in India's democracy. These courts, bar and bench, have constantly raised the standards of jurisprudence. Their legal acumen and scholarship has been par excellence. Like our Constitution, our Supreme Court too has been a model for many other nations. With a vibrant judiciary, I am sure the health of our democracy is never going to be a cause of concern. I convey my best wishes to all the members of the judiciary in their endeavor. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.